Hey guys, this is Alan J here from HPAgents.com. Super excited that you came aboard and you took your first step to changing your life. I know that when I first started 15 years ago, I made $0, a big zero, because I didn't have any direction. I didn't have anybody to train me. I went with a 100% broker, and I'm not putting down 100% brokers. But when you go with 100% brokers, they don't have enough initiative or incentive to stop and help you. I mean, even myself as a real estate broker, when I was having 100% agents, why would I train them? So I think that's why I developed HPAgents.com, so that regular agents outside my brokerage can learn how to make money, because nobody wants to really stop and teach you. Wow, there's real estate agents out there making hundreds of thousands of dollars, even $1 million a year. There's also agents that are making zero, and also making $20,000 to $50,000, just making ends meet. So what my job here today is to do is to basically set your foundation in place and set some systems in place, and actually treat your real estate business as a business, not a hobby or something to do on the side. This is a business that you can make a lot of money into, a huge, just a great career, meet some great people, help some people, and make a lot of money. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so real estate is 85 to 90% referral business. I mean, this business comes from referral, from your friends, from the people that you work with in the past, the people that you come in contact with, like let's see here, your people that cut your hair, maybe somebody, the dry cleaners, somebody you come in contact with, daily, or not daily, weekly or monthly. So what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to brand you. We're not gonna try. We are going to brand you. If you're in this system, you're here to make money. So you have to follow these. You have to follow the system. I guarantee you success, but you have to put in the work. You have to give me 100%. I guarantee you'll make some money quickly. Okay, so like I mentioned before, this is a referral business. This is almost 85% referral. So we have to get people. We have to get people to talk about you. Like when they're like, let's say for instance, one of your best friends or your friends hears someone. They just hear someone thinking about buying a house. I need them to think you as the real estate go-to person. I need to make sure they have a business card for you. I need to make sure that they have your information, your website, your email, how they can get in contact with you. Because when they hear, I need them to refer you. So what we need to do is we need to mesmerize their minds and become that number one brand position. Did you know that everyone only has space in their mind for two different brands for every service or every product? And I'll give you one right here. So what do you think for soda? Coca-Cola and Pepsi, right? Because they do an extreme amount of advertising. They mesmerize your mind to think soda, Coca-Cola, or Pepsi. It's always Coca-Cola, but Pepsi's running right second. So that's just one instance. And then it's the same thing for service industry. If you're not doing the system, if you're not mesmerizing your people, if you're not being in the number one brand position, I promise you someone else is. You don't know that, but I've had it so many times done to me where I'll contact even a family relative of mine. I'm like, hey, Uncle Tío, Tío Jesus, ¿cómo estás? How are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm just here helping my best friend move into his new house. I'm like, what? What? Wait, whoa. Back that up, Tío. What happened? Somebody bought a house? Yeah, James, he bought a house. And, well, you're like, Uncle James, Uncle Jesus, why didn't you refer me? They're like, I forgot you do real estate. I forgot. And they truly did forget. Ideally, really, I mean, when you call these people, when you call your friends and your sphere of influence and you drop the ball for, 2 to 6 months or even a year or whatever the case may be, they'll be like, yeah, I bought a house, or I know somebody bought a house. You're like, shit. And there's no one There's absolutely no one to blame except you. Taking the responsibility is you. And I think one of the things I live by is taking responsibility. You're in the position you are now because of you. Now you need to make some changes. And you're here in this course ready to make some changes. And I look up to you for that. I think that if there was someone in my position 15 years ago, we're doing a whole lot better. I mean, I'm making a few $100,000, close to $1 million per year, but I could be doing better. I could have earned it before 40 years old. I retired at 41 years old with, paid off house, car, zero debt, which is fantastic. Thank God. Oh, thank you. I'm going to show you how to do the same. Okay, so since this is a referral business, how do we get people talking about us? How do we get them? Alan, you said you need to mesmerize them, right? You have to get your SOI to measure. In fact, wait, let's take a step back. What is an SOI? So SOI, sphere of influence. Sphere, write that down. SOI equals sphere, not a spear, but a sphere, a circle of influence. Okay, these are the people that you're gonna influence really to refer you out. These are the people that you come in contact with monthly or weekly. You see them quite often. So in order to do that, we have to mesmerize their mind. So we know what a sphere of influence. Now, how do we leverage that? How do we take advantage of that? Now that we know that we have to work with our sphere of influence, how do we change their mindset to when they think real estate, they need to think you? How is that? Does anybody have any clue? Okay, well, let's start there. First of all, what we have to do is we have to hit them with a touch point or a slap point. I like to say slap, a 26 slap system point. Some people say touch, but I say slap because I don't like to just touch. Oh, touch. No, I want to give a little slap. They can wake up and say, oh, Alan, whoa, Alan does real estate. Hot damn. This is the go-to guy. This is the go-to girl. I want you to do the same thing. So when you come with some type of tidbit of information, I want them to think, God damn, every time I come in contact with Tiffany or James, whatever the case, you know what? I always leave with a little bit of information. You know what? I actually feel better. I feel better every time I come into contact with them. It's actually amazing. And they won't, see that at first, but they'll start getting it as time goes by. And that's what I like. That's what we're going to do. So the 26 slap a client system is what I'm teaching you today. 26 slaps annually or more. Minimum 26, and it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do. It's just ridiculous. And you're going to learn the whole thing. You're going to learn the whole system in this course, so don't even worry about it. But write that down, 26 slap a client system. When you come in contact with them, whether it be through email, social media, telephone call, a text message, a little note, a thank you note, which is fantastic, even a little gift. And we're going to talk about every single stage here. I want you to write that down. What do we have there? So we have 26 slap a client system is it could be a phone call, it could be an email, it could be a newsletter, it could be a thank you gift, it could be a thank you note, it could be a pop by. Why don't you just stop by and say hi? These are very, very important steps, and it sounds like a lot, and it is a little bit. But once you have this system in place and you set these clients in your database and you have things to do, it only comes down to 6 or 10 different things you have to do for your sphere of influence every day. It's not that hard because we're gonna have our CRM in place. Okay, so let's start there. Let's go to the worksheet. Here I'm gonna email you this worksheet, or I'm gonna attach this worksheet here to the program. Sphere of influence. It is a document, a sheet. Google Sheets. If you don't have Google Sheets or Google Docs, if you have a Gmail, you probably already have it, just never used it. It's actually 100% free, and I use it like that because it is shareable and it works just like Excel, has all the functionality. Okay, so the first row has SOI, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip, mobile phone number 2, your notes, and the category, and then the priority. So All this information is very, very valuable. You can get most of the information by extracting that data from your phone now. So if you have a smartphone, and about 95% of us do, extract that data into a CRV or a CSV, and then we'll import that data in here. I'm going to run another class right after this talking about importing and exporting data out of your smartphone system. Hopefully we can get that done quite easily. It's not that hard, but it takes a little bit of technical guru, but it takes a little time, but it's going to save you a whole bunch of time. It's going to save a little bit of time, saves you a whole bunch of time. So, and if you don't have that, you don't have a smartphone, and you need to start fresh, well then buckle down, grab you a cup of coffee in the next few days. This worksheet is going to be your bread and butter. It's going to be your foundation. It's going to serve as your cornerstone of real estate business. And we have to have it filled out as much as possible. We have to have it filled out as much as possible. You know the first name, last name, address. Now you may not know the address because everybody doesn't know the address of everybody, but you probably know they live in Houston and their email and phone number. Now you have to have this information. If you don't, you're gonna have to do some calls. I mean that's just it. You're gonna have to do some calls. So I'm gonna attach a script here, and basically the script is pretty easy. I can go over it here. If you don't have their email and you don't have their home address, then we are going to do one or two things. Number one, you can call them and just get that information, or you can text them to ask that information. Of course, they're going to be skeptical of giving it to you. They don't know, like, what the hell is she doing with that? Why does she want to know where I live at? And why does she want to know my email? The number one thing I like to do when I first got started was throw an event. And let me tell you why. Number one, it's always great to get with your friends. You can meet with them for one of the slaps in your 26 slap and client systems. It goes for one because you've met with all of them. So you could say, I'm having a birthday party, I'm having a whatever Easter party coming, a barbecue. My spouse is out. I want to invite you out. Some kind of invitation to something. So then, oh yeah, I'd definitely love to go check that out. Yeah, sounds good. Or you can also say, hey, I'm starting my real estate career. I'm starting my real estate career, and I really like to use you. No, not use. I don't like that word. I like to be someone. I like to be someone that you can refer business out to me. That's how I base my business on, is referrals, by working hard and working with great friends and clients like yourself, by not necessarily buying a property, but maybe you know someone. Maybe you know someone that's looking to buy in the near future. So, like, oh, okay, well, yeah. But, I think number one is a lot better. Hey, throw an event, send them an invitation, send them an invitation or a thank you note, letting them know you're going to be putting some kind of event together. I think that always gets this, because you need to get this information. You can also do a text blast, and if you don't know how to do that, we also have a text blast class as well. These are all technology classes that are outside of getting started. But we have a text blast system. We have email blast. We have what else? What else do you have there? We have automation of sales calls. I mean, these are all extra classes that are outside of this lesson, but this is an advanced. So what your main goal here is to get your sphere of influence information. No matter how you do it, get that information in there. We need at least 50 people. The bare minimum 50, and I'm gonna show you why now. Okay, so here's the sales call formula. This is why it is so important to set your foundation in stone. This is not magic. This is a formula of ratios and percentages of closing and sales calls and leads, and we're going to go over that right now. So we're going to take Houston's average sales price last year was $183,000. Okay, we got your sphere of influence here, internet leads, and cold calls to sellers. Okay, so there's 3 different avenues that you're going to be doing when you first get started in real estate. Actually, for most of your career. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you have Your lead conversion rate, when you call your sphere of influence, mine is about 5%. So that means that if I call 20 people, I should get one. And out of that one, 10% will actually close, because some people that you call, that your sphere of influence refer, hey, Benny's looking for a property. Alan, give him a call. So I'll give him a call. Hey, Benny, this is Alan. I was just checking with you if you like, I heard Mark told me you may be thinking about buying a house. See if I can come to any service to you. He goes, yeah, but I ain't really looking right now. Can you check with me in 6 months? You know what? No problem. I'll put it on my database, check with them in 6 months. Well, so just think of that as farming, but that's a whole nother story. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when people refer a business to you, just because they refer to you doesn't mean that that person is ready to buy at that moment, or may not be financing. They're financing many people. There's a variety of reasons why they cannot buy. So my closing conversion rate is about 10% for every referral that the leads give me from my sphere of influence. And that's kind of the numbers that you should be expecting when you get your sales skills going from this course. So, okay, so let's take that for you do 12 calls to your sphere of influence daily. That means you should have about 360. 12 times 30, 360 people in your sphere of influence. And look at your Facebook. Look, you probably have 500 friends in there. So get those people, get that information, develop your sphere of influence. I cannot stress how important that is. So then, from just using these ratios, from 12 calls per day, number of leads generated, about 5% is 0.6. And number of leads expected to close is 0.06. It's 10% of that. But then we look at it on a monthly basis. So 360 calls, 12 times 30, 360 calls, it should generate you 18 leads. And about 1.8 of those should close statistically. So 1.8 times 183,000 comes out to about $6,000, or whatever the case may be. I'm not very no, it comes out to about $9,882 exactly. So what happens is 183,000 times 1.8 is a number of closings you should have had times 3%. So that gives you 9,000, about $10,000. It goes the same thing here with the internet leads. Let's take a look. It's funny with internet leads, and the numbers show lead conversion rate 1 out of 20. But instead of 10% closing, because these people have no loyalty towards you at all, they don't know you from anyone. So they're easy to go to another realtor, they are a friend or a relative, and don't feel bad. It's just a part of doing business. So you do 10 calls a day, running these numbers, you get 0.5 leads generated daily, and then 0.02 will close. Let's take that on a monthly look. We're looking at 300 calls per month, 15 leads generated, and about 0.6% or a third of your SOI. So it's 30%. I mean, it's 1/3 of what your SOI can refer to you in the amount of closings. It's ridiculous. We got to make money when we first start every which way possible. First 12 months are extremely, extremely important, because if not, you'll just return to your other career or just give up. And I don't want that. It's not going to happen on my watch. Now we're going to also talk about cold calling and calling homeowners. And this is a vital part of building your inventory, getting those homes listed, and then getting that paycheck. So let's say here, so your lead conversion rate still 1 out of 20. That's my numbers at 5%, and then closing rate is about 10%. So when you go on the interview, you come prepared. Sometimes you get the listing, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're not the expert in that area, and sometimes you are. So it just depends. So I put down 10% number of calls per day. I do 20 calls per day. And it's very easy when I show you how to use the automation sales tactics tools that we have. It's ridiculous. So 20 calls, you get 1 lead per day, 0.1 will close. But you got 600 calls, 20 times 30 days, 600 calls a month. And that gives you a number of leads generated. About 30 leads you should have generated. You get 10% of that, which you should generate your inventory. So you get 3 leads. You get 3 homes that you listed. And hopefully those homes will sell for an average sales price, whatever the case may be in your area. 183,000 times 3 gives you $16,470 in commissions. Now, it does take time for that revenue to start rolling in. Your first 2 to 3 months, you won't see a paycheck unless you're doing rentals, and we'll talk about rentals in the next class. But once you start rolling in the system and you start running it, as long as you're following the system and treating it like a business, then you should be seeing revenue pop in. So we just multiply that out times the month, or add it all up towards the month, 29,646. and then multiply that times 12, which is 355,000 before taxes. So this is how you could easily make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. As much as you want to put into it, you can. Now, as we're looking at this spreadsheet here, and I'm going to share this spreadsheet with you guys too, is that take a look at, it's just a weird analysis, but if you're only making 3,000, one-third from internet leads versus SOI and cold calls, I mean, should you even be doing it? It's a good question, right? And it just depends on how hungry you are. Because I mean, it's a headache. Internet leads they are what they are. You get them from Zillow and Homes and your broker and all other different sources, but they don't know you. So what we need to be focusing on is referrals and cold calling, selling. And that's just my own opinion. And of course, I've done internet leads up the kazoo. So, okay, so that's my lesson for the day. I hope you picked up a few things. We talked about your sphere of influence. We talked about the formula behind it and how important it is. The next lesson we're going to be talking about is once you get your information put into the spreadsheet or you exported it out from your phone into the spreadsheet, then we have to start importing into the database. So tune in for lesson 2, and I shall talk to you guys soon. God bless.